And we are live.
We are live. Hello, everybody. How are you? Welcome to Spiritually Raw. We're hoping you're having the most fantastic, amazing day and everything in your life is working out exactly how it has been planned for you. But in the event it's not, we bring the best guests out here to help you, right? So Nana Cash is here with us today. So she's going to help us on helping you in your journey in life based on what she's learning in her journey in her life. So welcome, everybody. Hope you guys are really prepared for just some incredible times ahead in your lives and all the energy stuff that's happening. You know what I mean? You all know what you subscribe to, but you got to feel it, right? So it's here. So,
and Nat's going to help us fulfill our wishes.
Love this.
You guys are going to love this. Welcome to the Divine Laws of Magic and Manifestation with Nana Kasha. She's a Jaguar medicine woman.
Never heard that.
That's a new one.
That's right.
Celtic and Mayan shaman. She's also the priestess of Isis. And she's a multidimensional channel. She's an oracle. She's a seer. She's a master energy healer. And she's also the founder of Sacred Magic Mystery School. And she's also the host of Sacred Magic on the GnosticTV network. And we are so excited to have you guys. Are going to love Nan. I mean, you're like at a whole other level of knowledge, a whole other level of enlightenment. And we learn a lot from you all the time.
Yeah.
And it's really an honor to be in your presence.
It really is. Yeah, you break that manifestation to a to a very practical point, right? And it's not just a lot. There's not a lot of woo woo with you, which is it is what it is.
You're very practical.
Yeah, but you're very practical. Okay, so
practical woo woo.
Practical woo woo. I love that.
Yeah,
it's even better.
I'm so uber woo woo. I'm just laughing here by just saying, well, you're not really all that woo woo. I'm like, whoa. I usually tell people, you don't want to know. So you don't want to know everything I've done. It's just gonna blow your mind.
let's get right down in the basics, if you will. Let's wind it up, if you would. What blocks people from not getting their wishes fulfilled as a general rule? What are you seeing? What is the thing?
Well, right. You're so smart to ask such a good question, because it's not like, let's pull out the encyclopedia, right? Because we've all been down the beliefs. We know all the millions of different things or reasons or contracts and all these different things. So those are all the manifestations of it. But the bottom line is that we have been given, we have been trained, we've been conditioned with faulty information, with lies. Now, it doesn't matter if somebody intended to tell us a lie or not. Who cares? Give it up. Don't try to go back and blame and get involved in judgment, because you're not going to create anything you want. You're just going to inject everything you're doing with that. So you got to just drop it all, accept exactly where you are, and start to discover who you really are, which is the divine, the creator, the only authority in your life. There is nothing outside of you, no matter how much you love your God, your goddess, or your tree. I love all of them. I have all of them. I talk to all of them. I have altars all over my house and crystals, and I go to sacred sites. I love all of it. But it's not for you to give your power to. These are friends. These are tools. These are assets. These are things that can come in and help you on your path. But when you think that you're this unworthy piece of shit that can't have what you want because this is what your culture said or your father said, or you failed at a business, so you're not allowed to go after what you want, or whatever the reality, right, that you're living, that's the world, that's the culture, that's the life, that's whatever path you've taken to this point. But we've not been told repeatedly or trained when we're little to realize we're the only person who's choosing what we're creating. We're the only person who can change it. And we can't change it by doing superficial things only. Those are fun. Those help focus. Yes. But you've got to get down and realize I am. That means everything you want has to be right now. You can no longer say, it's going to happen. I see my dream. It's over there. Let's make it happen. You have to let go that there's, right? It's always like, well, I'm getting ready to get there, or I feel like it's coming now, or I can see it. Well, that's a good place to start. You have to identify it, right? But then you've got to jump forward in time. You have to sit inside of what you want. And that's the block. You don't believe you can have what you want. You don't think you deserve what you want. You don't think there's enough time or money, or you haven't been schooled well enough, or you know the right people, or blah, 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 whatever the other excuses are that we all have. Oh, they're just because of that. That's why you're giving your power away. When you give your power away, you're not sitting in the creator's seat. Who's sitting in the creator's seat?
How'd you figure it out, Nan? Mhm.
Long time of lots of pain and lots of loss and lots of wanting to find the spiritual solution. I had no spiritual upbringing, no religious upbringing, very, 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 very minimal. So I didn't have to like unravel some stuff that was maybe, not beneficial that a lot of people who've had some stricter religious upbringings have. And our culture, especially religions, are very steeped in poverty. And it's a poverty consciousness that supposedly makes you a better person and
Right.
makes you worthy for some nebulous thing that you might get one day when you die, but now you have to give up everything for everyone else.
Mm.
Right? I
Mhm.
did that. I was a people pleaser. I was working my butt off all the time to be the best at everything I did. And even though internally I discovered later I was programmed to believe I could never be the best, it would never end. I was on a treadmill that was just going to keep going. And every time I reached some level of approval or success, it only lasts for so long. That tells you you haven't done the inner work. You've only manifested by forcing reality into another form. So
And
working
how
80
did you start to
hours.
make the turn to go from realizing what you were to realizing this is not working? Because a lot of people are in that limbo. Like we
Exactly.
hear all the time, "Oh, I have all the pieces. I've been to all the courses. I've heard it all. I've studied it all. My house is a sanctuary. Why am I not able to manifest?"
Exactly. That's why I said that's all really fun. That's good stuff. It's fun stuff. It has medicine. It has energy. Certainly. I'm an energy girl. I totally believe in having all your good stuff. I went to the chiropractor this morning and I normally wear 2 obsidian necklaces with jaguar and Ishel. These are my spirit guardians on them for very specific reasons. And I forgot them there. So I came home and immediately went and found a bracelet. I don't ever go anywhere 24/7 without my obsidian. So these things are wonderful. But here's the problem. Everybody is like, why isn't this working? When is this going to happen? Do you know what you want? And then when you start to dive into it, how long can you stay focused on it? Try
Mhm.
it. Try it. Because when you take people down this road, like with my clients and everything, and what we're going to be doing in the weekly thing is that what is your wish right now? It doesn't have to be everything you've ever wanted in every department. And your wish isn't just money. This is a very common misconception, even prosperity. Prosperity means growth. It means that you can grow in any way you want. You can express, you are nourished, you are nurtured, you're in an environment in all ways, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, that is feeding you. And when you're fed and you're safe and you're grounded, you feel like, I can stretch, I can grow, I can create. But
Man,
the
there's a
thing
lot of
is,
oh, right, I'm sorry.
go ahead.
There's no, there's a lot of gifted spiritual beings out there, and I know that people are trying to help people along the way. But what do you think about like, hey, I was told that maybe in about a year or this is happening or something in 3 months or something there like so the proverbial kicking the can down the road, right? How is where does that information come from? So with your context of it, which is like, look, hey, you know what, make a damn decision and go, right? And that's it. And you tap in where, there's that other side of it, like, which we've all heard it. We're like, hey, I, like you said, I feel it coming or, within a few months or, whatever. It's again, kicking the can down the road. Where does that, if we're divinity like that, where does that information come from to these people that are disseminating that? Like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, everything is filtered through your concept of yourself. Everything is filtered through self-awareness. Your personal perception, your self-image is what you radiate through. So if you're a victim, if you were told you weren't good enough, if you always fail at something, if you don't feel good enough to talk to someone, if you put someone on a pedestal and you go whatever, right? That's the energy you're exuding. You can't lie your energy. You can act as if and pretend and dress up and do all these other things, but your energy. And so people are getting things. One, I don't think it's very good idea as a spiritual mentor and advisor to give people dates because time is not what you think it is. It's not linear, it's fluid. And part of prosperity is understanding you are going back and forward. You go back and review and repeal things you didn't like the way they happened, and you see them the way you want. And then you proceed as if that were true. You go forward in time and you stand in the place when your wish is fulfilled, when your dream has already manifested. And all you need is one tiny little scene of something that scene can become more and more real to you. You touch somebody's hand, you shake their hand, you get the award, you won the prize, right? Whatever your dream is. Just one little snippet that shows you it has already happened. Because that's where you're going. But you're not supposed to stand over here and try to figure out how to get there. And you can't and you won't. And that's what all these other things are for. So well-hearted. I mean, do you remember when you first got into your spiritual path? For me, everything fell apart. And then I started learning meditation and other things and went, wow. It was like this universe opened up, but I didn't understand it. But I just kept going. I kept eating it and just drinking and reading and consuming everybody's story and then taking all these courses. But this was 38 years ago. Okay. We moved like this now. You don't need to spend 30 years on a couch. You don't need 15 certifications. What you need to do is stop and spend some time with yourself. Listen, decide. Everybody thinks, well, could I just keep everybody happy and become a millionaire? No. Right? You guys know this because you help people with this. You can't make more money by staying the same person, or you would already have that money.
We're constantly evolving. When something doesn't work out, we don't hang on to it.
Yeah.
If we try something new, and we know very, very quickly, we'll know in a week, 2 weeks at the max, if it's working or not working. And it doesn't matter how much money we put into something, we'll drop it, we let it go, and we say, you know what?
Because your identity isn't attached to it. You know that this is like a world of abundance. The law of abundance works for us.
That's such a great thing that you just said about the identity, because a lot of people have that identity of, I'm supposed to do all of this spiritual work for free because that's, my God-given this, that, and the other. And
give that up.
Exactly. There's a lot of people
saying no.
Right. In the spiritual world that are absolutely broke. And I think because a lot of it is tied to that identity that you just said.
Hey, what do you think about okay, so those people that are watching this right now, they're thinking about, oh my gosh, because I can't do anything because this planet's out of alignment, or that is there, or that's all that stuff like there. And again, respecting everybody's consciousness of how it rolls in there. But what do you do? Like when you're saying, okay, this is where I want to go. Where do you go? Do you go to another version of yourself? Do you meet?
I go there. Yeah. I go to that point in the future, you could call it, except it's a potentiality, right? It's a wave of potential. But the people don't understand, we don't have the information. We are the source. We're God. We're goddess. We're the I am. We're the divine. We are the only one that can realize we're in a body. That's the lower self, with the higher self and the big divine self. And we are filling it up. And we have all these things we can do, but we're the only one who can say, I want the peppermint ice cream. If we keep letting someone give us the vanilla ice cream and we don't say anything, we're never going to get anything different.
And therein lies the thing with a lot of people, is to really admit that they truly are divinity. That they're divinity.
I was just going to say that.
And that's the thing. It's let me
danger zone.
I think so. I mean, how's that working out for people, right? I mean, obviously I know it's kind of
Right. Well, what were we? We were beheaded, outcast, disowned, burned at the stake, ridiculed, whatever you could call it. We all have lives of those. And even if you don't believe in that, you have a memory of it in you that vibrates every time you go, I'm going to be spiritual and charge money. Yeah. I've been, helping people with this for eons, for decades. And I went through it myself too. Everything fell apart. I had no context. I just went looking for the weirdest thing I could find. Truly. I found dolphins. Somebody was channeling dolphins from another planet. And back then that was pretty out there. And I was like, there was no internet or anything. Right. So, but the thing is be attracted to, I became a homeopathic doctor. I became a master hypnotherapist. I just kept taking what was showing up that was showing me, you can control your mind. You're the one. All these things were reflecting to me because my question was, first, how do I find peace? I just want peace. I just want a peace. I just want a peace. Just show me how to find some peace, not hate myself, not feel afraid, whatever. And other than that, I wanted to understand. I just spent a lot of time, money, and life busting my butt doing what I was told to do, and it didn't work out. So I want to know, what do I do? You know?
How's your course different from everyone else's?
Well, the one we're doing next is a weekly group, and it's a sacred circle where we talk, we chat. I have all my classes, we chat on WhatsApp. And so you have that. And every week we meet, and we are going to be working on, I'm going to show you how to design your wish, your dream, your desire, your goal, and every little piece that I take from those divine laws, how to use it. So each week you're going to learn a new distinction of that divine law. Okay.
Like architecture.
Yes. And then over those 8 weeks, you'll be supported in manifesting. Now, whatever you come to manifest in that 8 weeks or not, doesn't matter, because in those 8 weeks, you are going to transform, because you're going to be running into your fear and running into your distractions and, every day. But the purpose is to have somebody there and have a supportive group of other people who are doing the same thing. They're willing to go for their dream. They're willing to figure out what they do want. And they're willing to figure out, because, you start saying, I want this. Usually people are like, I just want money. Just give me a lot of money and then everything will be fine. Spirit showed me in the middle of my bankruptcy and divorce that if I kept asking for the money to get the thing, I was putting money between me and the thing. But I need to ask for the thing, because the thing can be delivered in a million ways. That's the mystery. And you don't need to know how. And you can, of course, ask for money, and money will come, and you don't need to be so desperate about it. So finding that space where you can feel safe to declare what you really want and let yourself know it, you will almost immediately go underneath that. And within a few hours or a few days say, I'm not sure that's really what I want. What I really want is this. Like, why do you want the money? So I can feel safe.
So that's
what makes you feel safe.
So I just want to make sure I got what you said, just to help me, because that felt pretty profound what you said. So for example, most people are like, if I have this money, I can do this, right? What you're saying is like, just skip that part of it, get this, if you would, right? And not associated to the money, because when you're focusing on this, and there is that block, and then you lose sight of this, if you would, because you're focusing in on the stuff that has to happen in between, correct?
Yes. So, okay, where your attention is, your energy goes, and what gets energy grows, right? So we know that. So if you are being poor, if you're like, I never have enough money, I can't pay the bills, and you do that even 30% of the day, you're thinking that way, you're feeling that way, you're not feeling good enough, you're feeling guilt or shame, you're feeling a low state of emotion around a topic of something you want. And there's a part of you that feels I can't have it, or it probably won't happen, or whatever. And maybe you're manifesting people in your life to say that stuff to you. What do you think you are? You can't have that, right? And this is all a reflection. So it's just reflecting what you really believe in your self-concept. And you can only change that if you leave that self-concept. So I say thank you and goodbye, shut the door, turn your back, don't be the fly that beats its head against the window till it dies on the windowsill, turn around, there's a million doors open, find a different way to what you want. So we're really, the big thing now is to fix your trauma and talk about your trauma. And I'm not making fun of it, because my life has just been an epic episode of stuff that has happened. But that's been turned into wisdom. That was the fuel for my life journey to become the wise person that I'm now, like that role. I didn't go, I'm going to become that. I was like, oh my God, this happened in my life. I better go figure out what to do. Oh my God, this happened in my life. And it's being in a journey that now, if you go to what you want and you live in the end result and you master that art and you refuse to even believe your senses, that means if you go, and I learned this during my bankruptcy, if you look at your bank account and it was somehow always under zero during my bankruptcy, it was like, I would just like to be at $10. That was my big goal at one point. And it was like, not only did I have to stop going, why am I always, underbalance. Why is it never there? Where am I putting my attention? What am I giving my energy to? The lack, the thing. But it's right there, but it's proof. It's there. I don't have the money. How can I spend the money? And all the other things you've heard a million times, right?
Yeah.
Well, because the money is only there if you see it. Everything is already done. Creation is created. Every possible future you have exists already. You're manifesting it by finding door number 3, right? You're just like, wow, I never thought of the fact that I could own a home or I could make $1 million. What would that feel like? If you're sitting there feeling like I'm never going to make $1 million, then you're feeding that into the universal computer that says she never wants to make $1 million. And then they give it to you. But you have to go, how will it feel? And it's scary. And it's hard to hold your focus. And it's hard to drop into emotions when the proof in front of you. But you know what? The 3D is the illusion. The reality is you. And you're infinite. And you have access to the infinite storehouse. And the only thing limiting you is your imagination. And we were told our imagination was stupid.
Which is why I think it's such a great opportunity for people to join your upcoming class, because that is what you need. You need to be around, you need to surround yourself with people that believe in you, so you can start believing in yourself more, and then you don't have the doubters, and then you start to block out the doubters, and then you're picking up the energy of the people that are in the class that you're resonating with, that you all have a collective goal, so to speak, in mind. It's so important to communicate and be around others that support your abundance and prosperity and well-being.
And shut the door on the rest.
And shut the
door. And that's usually people you live with. It's people you love. And you're not telling them they're wrong. You're just saying to yourself, I'm my own life. I'm my own authority. You're living your own reality. You don't change people by telling them what to do. You don't change the world by doing that.
And I think a lot of that, if you think about it, like we get so attached to like people we know or close with, and they may not be on the right, but like not everybody wants to say, I want like $100 million and bring my Bentley around back. I'll be there in a minute. And, not everybody's looking for that. But, it feels like if you want that, then you should kind of be in vicinity to it, meaning vibrationally, right? Like it's at least to kind of feel it. What you're saying though, does it negate the concept of karma as we understand it?
Absolutely.
It does. Okay. Can you explain on that? Elaborate on that for me.
One, we're at the wave of consciousness of unity. There's no karma anymore, in my opinion. This is from what I see. I travel dimensions and shamanically, and I see, and I work with clients in a lot of different ways, and we do. And karma is something that you won't let go of. It's a pattern that you carry with you. But if you're the creator and you have infinite possibilities to pick from, once you realize that's who you are, do you still pick that? No. So karma is simply a repetitive pattern that keeps popping up, and people give their power away to their patterns. They give their power away to their childhood. They give their power away to stuff. And I'm in no way negating the pain that it feels, but do you want that? Do you want to focus on the pain and be the victim? Or do you want to say, do you want to tell the story that when you go into that future moment, when your wish is fulfilled, what's your wish? I feel peaceful. I'm safe. There's, everyone around me is in harmony and kind and loving. I have everything I need. I'm just going to sit in that. How would that feel? I don't need the details. I just need to know how that feels. And you may never have felt that. So your time and your energy is not spent trying to fix what happened in the past or keep going, I did this pattern again. Okay, you just accept it. That's the only thing you can do in the moment. The only freedom is through the door of acceptance. And you walk through it. Doesn't mean you're agreeing to it or you're asking for it. You're just going, oh, look, that's there now. Right? Oh, look, the scorpion got in the house, oh, that's not good. So you're just like, oh, okay. I said the other day, what was it? I would say, oh yeah, when you change like this, we do deep interchange on every level. You have to do that. You become a different person that radiates a different energy, that sees a different world. And the world doesn't change until you change. And you change by what I just said. Like, instead of being afraid of people or afraid of expressing yourself, you simply start to go to a place that you imagine everyone is so supportive and kind. My life is just lined with people who are always doing wonderful things for me. It sounds silly.
It sounds like
Okay.
a fantasy to
Yes.
a lot of people. That is impossible. I'm just gonna put in
And
my
that's
mind that
another,
everything around me is all roses, and everywhere I go, people are gonna welcome me, and every time I'm around, people are gonna be nice to me. But it's true. That's how it works.
it happens, but you have to sustain
That's how it works.
it. You can't say it for 5 minutes in a meditation and then spend the whole day going, oh, everybody's out to get me. Right. And then say, see, it didn't work. You have to do the hard work, which is
You got to be it.
Check where you are. Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? I call it brainwashing. I brainwash myself day and night. I have audios, I have meditations in my own voice and other things. I have all of my wishes. I'm, in the process of manifesting right now. I'm clear on it. I know all the steps. I know how the divine laws work. And so if I find that my mind is spending 1 minute repeating a thought or going back and rethinking about a conversation I had earlier or whatever, that is an undisciplined mind. You need a focused mind and a respected imagination. And because visualization is actually what you receive. Imagination is what you send out. And manifestation is a combination, because if what you want is already there, it's just a matter of like, do you have a cell phone for so-and-so? No. Do you know somebody who might? Thank you. Do you have a cell phone? It's like you're looking for what you want, but you have to become aware of it. When I became a real estate investor, I didn't even know people did that job. I didn't even know it existed. So I had to become aware of it in order to say, oh shit, I want to do this, right? So if you don't start to go, what do I want? What do I love? And I'm right there with you. I'm the magic fairy goddess girl dancing around talking to butterflies. And my mother loved it when I was little and then said, grow up. Right. And all of that. I remember one time in my life, I just said, my innocence is dead and I'm never getting it back again. I had lost the magic in life. And magic is natural. We're not here to pay bills and be burdened with everybody's traumas and then label everything and take a pill for it. We're here to create a world, and no one can create the world that you know how to create except you. But our door to our freedom is totally in our hands. We can blame other people as long as we want. We can get mad, but you're just feeding that into your own reality. It becomes, when you become aware of how everything comes through you into your life, that the minute you admit or agree to something, it's now in your future. So if I spend 1 second and I say, oh man, I don't want to spend that money, or I don't have that money, or I hate spending money, or this always happens to me, or something like that, even that 1 second just went in my future. I don't want that in my future.
That is so true.
That is
You're right.
very true.
Because the past is a dangerous place to be. You know what I mean?
Go mine it. Mine it. It's got wisdom. You've got strength because you went through shit. But you're not going to go fix other people. And it isn't like, if you're caught up in injustice and so has to whatever, and they have to apologize to me, bless you, because you could spend a long time in that personal prison. And it isn't that, let's let everyone get away with what you want. Turn around and start thinking about, what do you want? What kind of people do you want in your life? Not people who did whatever they did.
Exactly.
Turn your back on people like them. Deal with your 3D, of course. I actually had a client ask me yesterday, okay, I'm turning my back on that, but then I had to go take care of my father-in-law who's dying. I'm like, oh no, you have to take care of your 3D. You're turning your back on the thoughts, because thoughts become things and they never go away.
Yeah. And it's interesting because everybody that's at least, got the mental wherewithal right now can agree that we all, our physical body hits a finish line at some point, right? So we all know that happens there. So it's interesting how we choose to live to judge ourselves along the way. Like, we make it so difficult, where it's like, kind of like a video game simulation. Why not live in that capacity? all right, let me get some more tokens here, and that's it. And you're just going up, right? And
Yes.
so it's interesting. More people are not. I mean, I really hope, and I think this is a very, very healthy way to look at life and in general. You know what I mean? Just like to take the mental pressure off you. I mean, shit's gonna happen, and it's like
Always.
it's always. It's like that. Like nobody's immune to that. I do like that. I do like that. It was a great tip for people if you're watching this. Like, hey, people think about, oh, if I had this, like I hear that all the time. When I get this money, I'm going to give to the poor, or I'm going to do this, or when I get this,
I'm
going
going
to
to do this.
when I get this, I'm going to get this.
And we hear that all the
when
time.
and like, give me that, and then that comes in. So that's a good one. I hope you all connected with that.
Well, what would you say? Because I'm sure you hear that all the time too. When someone says, when I receive X, I'm getting Y.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what you're doing is you're putting a barrier. So energetically, what I usually see, because I see energy, is when somebody says that, I often see a track. I used to run track, a running track with hurdles, right? And there's what you want, and that there's a hurdle. Right. So if you're walking there, you're running there, you're going to have to jump this hurdle, and everything you put between you and that, why don't you just let the universe decide and say, I'm ready to go to the Bahamas for a big, awesome trip with my family. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to see myself on the beach there, instead of like, well, I don't have the money. And blah, 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 blah. Go to the place, be there, live there, believe and trust as much as you can right now that the universe has another way for it to come. And then you have to do your part. You don't just go sit in the corner and feel poor. Like, what do you do between your wish and its manifestation? Live in the manifestation of it. So are you thinking from it, feeling from it? What would it feel like? You want to be in the end result. Right. So if you're constantly living in the end result, like most of your emotional and mental time, right, your decision time, and then you're working, right? So you're here in the moment, of course, but then you're bringing forward the mentality that you would have once you are XYZ. Right. And all of that. So how easy is it to look at pictures of the Bahamas and imagine you hear the waves and put on wave music and just fill your senses? Brainwash yourself with it, and then watch for what I call your doubt girl, right? Blah, blah, blah. You can't have it. It's not going to happen. And this is where you're trapped. You're trapped not understanding your divine, and also that there are certain divine laws you have to follow, and they're infallible, and your wish will come true, period, end of story. Like, when you wish upon a star, doesn't matter who you are. Your dreams come true. It's true. But you have to sustain the energy. You have to be the GPS point for it to find you. You have to live in it. And you have to believe before you're going to see. And you're not going to see the signs first. You're going to see the signs once you believe that it's happening and the signs are there. So it feels a bit of a trap, a bit stuck, like, but I want proof. Yeah, you're just going to have to let go of it and decide that you're divine and that you deserve. And guess what? You don't have to work any harder. You don't have to have any more money. You don't have to be any sexier. You don't have to live in a different house. You can have it right now. And the more you do that, the only moment is the now. So you said something before about people saying, well, that's going to take X number of years. That's a hurdle. You just put that in front of you, because believe me, if you get deep into mystery work like I've done, you're going to realize that time is a structure, and it can be bent, it can be wrinkled, it can be stretched. You can be like, wow, that felt like 3 hours. Wow, that felt like 2 seconds. Like, come on, it's perceptual. And so don't put time and hard work and 40 years and someone else dying first and everything else between you and what you want. And yes, people will be upset.
That is incredible, pragmatic, practical woo-woo-ish advice. The best I've heard, for real. I really do recommend everybody seriously watching this. Go to shop.nanakasha.com. See how Nan can help you. You can see the vibe there and the real life experiences that has gotten her to this point to just share this, from such a heartfelt place. One spirit to another, two spirits to another. How many spirits are watching this? We want to thank you for your service, Nan, for real, and your dedication to, keeping yourself out there and continually, like you said, the discipline it does take to stay out there and really just it's discipline makes champions, right? So,
Mhm.
becoming a champion that you are. So everybody visit the site. It'll be in the description below. Nan, love you. Thanks a lot. And
Thank you so much.
you.
It's always a pleasure to be in your energy.
Thank
And
you.
together with Nan's help, we are turning the universal key to global harmony and creating a unified world. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yay.
Remember, tune in often, tell all your friends, and most importantly, may all your dreams come true.
Yes.
Many blessings.
Now.
now, may all your dreams come true now. I love it.
Exactly.
That's awesome.